What is up, you guys? It's Thursday, March 13th, 2025. You guys need to wait to the end to watch this video. It is fire. So, a House committee hearing turned explosive when Connecticut Congressman John Larson blasted genius Elon Musk for not showing up to the hearing concerning the cuts he was overseeing through Doge. So, the Connecticut Democrat criticized the company's GOP leadership, accusing it of following whatever Donald Trump and Musk tell them to do rather than acting independently. The hearing considered two resolutions put forth by Democrats, including one by Larson asking for information into Doge's plans. It was his turn to speak up. Larson lit up. He said, "We're an equal branch of government, and you start out with a blather, and yet look at the empty seats here," said the Democratic congressman, raising his voice at the Wednesday hearing. He says, one day after Trump insisted he was not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, Musk told Fox Business Network that he was eyeing the Social Security Administration as his next target to make cuts. "Most of the federal spending is entitlements," Musk said. "That's the big one to eliminate. Entitlement programs provide benefits that are legally eligible and entitled to. So workers, employers, and the self-employed pay for these benefits through their Social Security taxes. The taxes are collected, they're put into a special trust fund, and then you qualify for the benefits based on your work history or your spouse or your parent. And the amount of the benefit is based on these earnings, according to the Social Security Administration. Musk has previously labeled the Social Security Administration as the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time, when roughly 69 million Americans, retired workers, and people with disabilities receive Social Security benefits each month. So Dodge mass layoffs, slashed contracts, and attempts to reduce the federal government's real estate footprint have caused chaos and prompted a string of lawsuits. The cost-cutting arm claims to have saved an estimated $115 billion as of Thursday, but various reports have contested the agency's total savings. Larson's resolution would have requested that the president, within 14 days, to provide documents, records, and audio recordings to the House related to the Social Security Administration systems used by Musk. Musk and his team's visit to the government agency planned closures of agency offices and reductions of staff. The hearing and resolution come after a March 3rd letter signed by more than 150 Democrats over their grave concern regarding massive changes to the agencies. Republicans voted against both resolutions on Wednesday. Shuttering field offices and gutting Social Security staffing has nothing to do with governmental efficiency, the Democrats wrote. Staffing is at its 50-year low, despite serving a record number of beneficiaries. Years of understaffing and lack of resources have led to a customer service crisis at SSA, closing the very field and hearing officers that beneficiaries rely on, and gutting staff would only deepen the crisis, chaos, and confusion. Because they serve seniors and disabled Americans, they rely heavily on the phone systems. And they've just cut like over 5,000 employees from Social Security. And those go to those resources of people being able to answer the phone. Musk wants to automate those things, but automation is very difficult for our seniors and for our disabled Americans. So then what's the other thing that they can do? Well, they can go into the field offices. The majority of the field offices have been closed because of the cuts. So they are literally going after Americans, the most vulnerable communities in our country. Watch this video.
Morning. Very sad morning. When this committee, the oldest and most continuous in the Congress, neglects its responsibility and essentially holds this hearing today to block any further discussion. The men and women on this committee are good people. They're honest and caring people. And that's why I do not understand why you would relegate this committee to no longer being of significance and resort to saying you will do whatever Elon Musk and Donald Trump tell you to do. Where's the independence of the committee? Where's the legislature? We're an equal branch of government. And you start off with a blather, and yet look at the empty seats here. Where's Elon Musk? I'm sure he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated. But that does not put him above the law or the responsibility to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he's found are so evident, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security. He's been on television the last couple of days talking exactly about Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and what he intends to do. Privatize it. The American people, some of them may have been born at night, but not last night. People are aware of this. Every single one of your districts, all the money that comes in monthly, and you have not done, you as a Congress, have not done anything in more than 54 years. And now you have someone coming in to privatize a system, something you have longed to do going back to 1982, because Elon Musk thinks that this is the best thing to do. President Trump has called Social Security a scam. Elon Musk, as Mr. Neal said, called it a Ponzi scheme. Ask that of the people in your district. Ask that, Mr. Smith, of the more than 198,000 people in your district who rely on Social Security, and you won't even let the person who's planning to privatize it, who's telling the big lie in front of everyone, in bold as he possibly can, saying, this is what we're going to do. The Congress is in our back pocket. We don't even have to come before them and testify, because we control the House, we control the Senate, and we control the presidency. And it's the tyranny of the executive. It's why these resolutions were first adopted back in 1789, because the founding fathers knew that the executive branch does not have total authority over the legislature unless you have a willing party that says, no, we're going to do exactly what you tell us to do, Mr. Musk and Mr. President. It doesn't matter to our constituents. It doesn't matter how much money they are not going to receive. We're not even going to tell them the truth about what's going to happen to them. And every single one of these districts where they're being shut down and their personnel, and as Mr. Neal said, Dan, after you cut and eliminate the people, say the agency isn't responding accordingly. No other agency operates for under less than 1%. With that, they administer to over 70 million people in the nation's #1 anti-poverty program for the elderly and children. Shame! Shame! Can't bring people in front of this body? If he's right, if they're so good, if they're so just, why aren't they here telling the American people about it? They're not, because you know the truth. It's about privatization.